And here we are at Elizabeth Park, Paekakariki, on Saturday, the 25th of March, 1972. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There are no Wellington officials there at all. The Northern boys have assembled. There's no sign of the South Island team, and it's pouring with rain. What a dismal outlook Elizabeth Park can give when it's weather like this. However, around about 2 o'clock, the southern team arrived, some of the Wellington officials arrived, and the boys had walked round the course. Around about 3:30, some of the hardy souls said, to hell with it, let's have a ride around, and so they had some practice starts and a few gallops around the course. The South Island team manager gets his boys together and does some organised practice. Here he is, Bill Campbell. On paper, the South Island had a pretty strong team this year, but we were very surprised at the poor quality of machines they'd brought with them compared to previous years. It will be very interesting to see the outcome tomorrow. And here we are, it's Sunday the 26th of March. The weather is fine, and here's the North Island team lined up. Bob Coleman, their team selector manager, and they're riding in red. And here's the South Island riding in yellow with their team selector manager, Bill Campbell. The boys line up for the first race. And away they go. And what happens? Alan Collison and Morley Shirriffs take an early lead, first and second. And then Doug Johnson tries to commit suicide and in the process eliminates 3 or 4 of the North Island team. What is this, 3, 4 red, do I see? Oh dear, oh dear. However, the South failed to capitalise on this pile-up, and North got first and second. Alan Collison first, Morley Shirriffs second. Well, the second race produced a very similar result, with the Northerners taking an early lead. What's this? Red. 1, 2, 3. My word. Come on, you South Island people. Some of the South supporters who had travelled all the way up from the South Island were starting to look a little glum about it. Well, the next race had Peter Ploen and Ross McLaren riding in it for the North, and what a performance these two put on. Honestly, you'd think they were racing for $1,000 or something instead of racing for the North Island team. Ross has a narrow lead on Peter up over the hill. And these two just bolt away. Here they are again with Ross just holding a lead on Peter, and Peter wasn't going to give an inch anyway. But what a show these two put on, away out in front. Here we have a shot of Morley saying, gee boy, I want to go, where is it? And there in all its glory is it, ladies and gents, with the door facing towards the public, which was expected to be 4,000 odd. Just not good enough, Wellington. Anyway, the South Island boys were starting to get a bit worried now, and they had a couple of little pep talks, and one of their supporters in particular couldn't have cared less about the whole ruddy thing. He'd been tuning himself up on their famous illicit Hokanui whiskey, I'm sure. The Wellington clubs used a very simple starting device, and Doug is starting to get a wee bit anxious here by the looks of it. But away they went, and once again it turned into a duel between Peter Ploen and Ross McLaren away out in front. Just look at these two crackpots, will you? They should have really been ticked off by the manager. Talk about team tactics from these two. Well, Doug and Reg Dixon go by. But just look at these two, will you? Good heavens above. Shortly we'll see Peter and Ross once more. And look at these two, will you? They're way out in front. They must be a quarter of a mile in front. Just as well I wasn't the team manager, they would have been ticked off well and truly. This is not teams racing. The South is well behind in points now, and the boys are starting to get a bit discouraged. They try a gear change or something like that. But the Northern boys have nothing to worry about. Here's Ross and Doug talking to Lance Gandy, an ex-Hamilton member now riding Speedway in Wellington. Well, in the next race, Alan Collison, Morley Shirriffs repeat the dose, and I'm afraid the South's in for another thrashing. However, let's have a look round the course a bit further. It was very windy and hilly and up and down, and where Alan Collison is approaching now, just over the drop, there was a very nasty little dip with a couple of cabbage trees growing right alongside the track at the bottom. And if you got offline, you'd hit them pretty hard. In fact, a couple did, luckily without any serious injury. Because the drop down into this little hollow was so blind, if you happen to fall, you're in danger of being run over because the rider coming didn't see you until he was in mid-air. And there were some very narrow squeaks, believe you me. Alan Collison made it look so easy. He's so deceptively smooth that he doesn't even appear to be going fast. And, hello, what's this? Morley has been chopped out of second place and he's now running third. But after a lap or so he recovers and gets into second, and once more Alan Collison finishes first, Morley Shirriffs second. We pick up the start of the next race from about half a mile away. And it looks obvious that Ross and Peter Ploen have decided to make it first and second again. Yes, here's Ross in the lead, Peter riding second, and Doug McLaren has moved up and he's in third place. Well, the field winds its way round the course and gradually gets closer to us. And shortly it'll come up and over this drop, down into the little gully of the cabbage trees, and away they go. You know, although the South were losing the series, the pace was on. These boys were really trying and everybody was really going. But oblivious to it all was our Hokanui expert from the South Island. But boy, what a headache he'll have tomorrow. In the meantime, the South Island riders had a pep talk from their manager and they were going to do or die. But although they tried very, very hard, there seemed to be nothing they could do about stopping Peter Ploen and Ross McLaren from getting first and second in each of their races. The two North Islanders were obviously having the time of their lives today, and up over the start-finish jump, Peter in the lead does his usual cross-up and Ross takes it straight. Doug McLaren is running about 4th or 5th. You know, you must hand it to CZ. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a very spectacular tumble. That's not the way to do it, boy. Now pick yourself up quickly and run back and get your bike. That's right, now this way. That's right, that's 6 CZs in a row. You know, I'll never cease to wonder why people persist in taking dogs to a motor race meeting, particularly a motorcycle race meeting. The dogs can't possibly enjoy it, and they could be very dangerous if they get loose. Well, the final race of the series gets underway, and we have a great tangle up here. Reg Dixon falls and gets Peter Ploen all tangled up with him. Come on, Reg, get up out of there. You're holding up our star man. Go on, Peter. There's some difficulty. Peter gets going, but he's way behind the pack. But Peter sets off after them. He keeps our throttle wound full up, and believe it or not, he goes right through the field. And here he is on the last lap, close on the heels of the South Island leader. And to everybody's applause, he manages to pass him and finish first. A wonderful effort by Peter Ploen, who at this stage, in 1972, was really beginning to show that he was number one in New Zealand. Well, this ride of Peter's brought the meeting to a close, the final points being North Island 379, South Island 172. And after a wash and a tidy up, the boys gather at the organiser's caravan for tea, coffee, ale and sandwiches and a yarn. And here, with the aid of a very well-known character from the motorcycle world in Wellington, Mr. Bob Coleman presents the New Zealand Autocycle Union certificates to all members of both teams. And so with these few remaining shots, we will say cheerio to the 1972 North versus South at Elizabeth Park.